Well, welcome one and all to the 2016 Best Strategy Game Awards. So, as we come down to the last week here of 2016, I decided to go ahead and create my own video highlighting the best strategy games that were released in 2016. And the reason I decided to do this is because a lot of the other game review sites out there that release their strategy game awards, they don't really take into account all of the different strategy games out there. And they mostly focus in on those games that sold a half a million or 3 million copies throughout the year. And they don't focus in on all of the great, fine strategy games that were released by some of the smaller publishers. And so I've decided to come up with the best of the best strategy game guide for you out there. As you know, if you've been on my game channel or my live streams, I am a huge strategy gamer, and most of the games that I do enjoy playing, I post a lot of the different videos on them, and some reviews, and some helpful tutorials, and all kinds of things. And I purchase a lot of the common games out there, and I also purchase a lot of the games out there that a lot of the other game reviewers probably never even heard of. So I think I'm well suited to kind of give you a highlight of the best strategy game awards. So when I'm doing a evaluation of the best, I just want you to know that these are the kind of criteria that I look at for each of the different categories that we're going to look at. So of course the price. What do you get for your money? How much the game cost? If you're spending $60 on a game and I have to buy another $60 in expansion packs and everything, what kind of price am I getting for my value? Is the game complete? Does the game come by itself, or do you have to purchase a bunch of DLCs? Do you have to buy expansions? Well, what's included when you actually purchase the game? Longevity. How long will you be playing the game? Is this a game that's going to come and you're going to play it once and be done with it, or is this a game that you can play 10 years from now or 5 years from now? How long will you be playing the game? Complexity. How easy or hard is the game to play? Is the game enjoyable? Is it challenging but not overly challenging? Can you make it? Can you adjust the complexity of the game to suit your needs? Interface. How hard is it to manage the game? One of the worst problems I have with some of the games out there is the fact that the interface is so hard, it just takes away from the experience of enjoying the game. Of course, some newness factor. Is this just a rehash of another game that's already been released, or is this a new idea, a new concept, a new game system? How new and interesting is the game? And of course, the fun factor. How much do you enjoy playing the game? Was it fun? Would you start another game immediately? Do you need to take a break? Did you get wore out during the game? Did you look forward to playing it again? So all these things come into mind. So obviously, when I'm doing an evaluation of the best, I'm going to look at all these different categories and kind of decide which game fits the most. There might be better games that are more complete or have better complexity or better interface, but maybe they don't have as much fun factor and newness. So I'm taking um, all these different categories into my evaluation when I make the game, and I decide who wins which category. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and close this out. Let's look at who the winners are. So here we are at the top. So the Best Strategy Game Awards, and this category is for the best board game design. So this is going to be a strategy game that reminds me very much of a board game. It has that board game feel. It's got a board game design and concept with it. And the nominees are Heroes of Normandy, Victory and Glory Napoleon, Talisman, The Horus Heresy, Sid Meier's Civilization 6, Tigers on the Hunt, and Twilight Struggle. So first things first, we'll look at the runner-up here. So I will show you who the runner-up is here. I think what I'll do is I'll just push this to the background here and see who is the runner-up. The runner-up for this best board game design is Victory and Glory Napoleon, which is might come as quite a shock to some people out there, but that game has got a wonderful board game design and board game feel to it. Very board gamey, and really enjoyed that aspect of Victory and Glory Napoleon. And now the winner. The winner of this category is, and I'll do the same thing, send this to the back. Of course, dun dun dun, Tigers on the Hunt, which was released February 25th, 2016. And of course, the developer, Silicon System Incorporated. Tigers on the Hunt wins Best Board Game Design, of course, being very highly inspired by the Advanced Squad Leader rules. It's obviously has a very strong and deep roots in board game design. So that's the first category. So runner-up, Victory and Glory Napoleon, with the winner being Tigers on the Hunt. Next category is the best strategy game. This is a non-World War II design. The nominees are Sengoku Jidai, Shadow of the Shogun, Victory and Glory Napoleon, Total War Warhammer, Sid Meier's Civilization 6, Polaris Sector, and Master of Orion. So in this category, obviously, we're looking for a strategy game that's not World War II. And the runner-up is going to be Sid Meier's Civilization 6. So, yep, very, very good strategy game. Has a lot of, you know, replayability with it. Lots of new and interesting ideas with Civilization 6 as opposed to Civilization 5 or previous editions. And I just think it brings out a lot of the great strategy qualities in the game. The winner for Best Strategy Game Non-World War II Design is, dun 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 dun, send it back, Sengoku Jidai, Shadow of the Shogun. Yes, this game is a beautifully designed game. The art, direction, the music, if you, you know, just the stylization, the text, everything just really, really well put together with this game. It's obviously developer of Byzantine Games and being published by Matrix Games and Slytherin. It's got a new battle system that is really interesting. There's some complexity to it, but it's not over complex. It's just a well put together game. Really enjoy this game a lot. So, best strategy game, non-World War II design, runner-up, Sid Meier's Civilization 6, and the winner, Sengoku Jidai, Shadow of the Shogun. So obviously we have a non-World War II category, so obviously that means we are actually going to have a World War II game category. Because, of course, there are a lot of games focusing in on World War II that were released in 2016. And the best of the best are going to be Heroes of Normandy, Order of Battle World War II, Strategic Command World War II War in Europe, Hearts of Iron 4, Assault on Arnhem, and Gravitine Tactics Minus Front. So a lot of really good games there. World War II, if you're a World War II fan, a lot of good games. Let's see who the runner-up is, and the runner-up is Strategic Command, World War II, War in Europe. Very good if you are interested in the history of World War II. The units, the different units that come with this game, the map design, just the whole game design, well put together. Very, very good package. Just wasn't quite good enough to become the winner, although I would probably say that this and the next category were the hardest ones for me to decide. And the winner of the best strategy game for World War II design is, send it back, Order of Battle World War II. Developer, of course, is the Aristocrats. It was released June 14th, 2016. After it was originally released in 2015, but it was changed in the format and how they were going to be doing it and reworked everything. And most everything has come out in 2016. I believe the original game was like December, but it for me it really didn't take effect until they made the changes and decided what they were going to do with this game. And the game system is very, very good. The amount of units that you can use, already, it's only been really a half a year that the game's been out, and there's 4 or 5 good expansions for it, adding a whole bunch of new things. And best strategy game, World War II design, Order Battle, World War II. It's just a really good package. The supply layer that you can manipulate really turns it into a tactical, flowing battlefield instead of just having your counters and your units move around on the map. You're moving them around for purposes, and it's just a well put together package. All right, so now we have the best strategy game, and in this game, or in this category, we have the game that focuses the best on grand strategy. So if you are a strategy gamer, but you like grand strategy, this would be your category here, as we're going to focus in on the games that really highlight the grand tactics, the grand strategy of strategy games. And for this category, we have nominees of Victory and Glory Napoleon, Total War Warhammer, Strategic Command World War II, Hearts of Iron 4, Gravitine Tactics Minis Front, and Sid Meier's Civilization 6. So a lot of really good quality games there. Let's see which the runner-up is here. The runner-up for best grand strategy game of 2016 is Strategic Command, World War II, War in Europe. This game really does a great job of making you feel World War II on a grand scale with all the different units, the different theaters going on. Of course, you can play different scenarios that focus in on different theaters, but you can play the grand strategy game that really incorporates many different aspects of it, where you have to learn diplomacy, you have to learn about spending your resources, your resource points, and keeping those units, moving them around. It's just a well-designed, really good strategy game, grand strategy game for World War II. And now the winner for the best strategy game, grand strategy for 2016 is Hearts of Iron 4. So as I mentioned a few minutes ago, that these two categories were probably the hardest for me to really decide on, the World War II design one and the grand strategy one. It could have come down to either one of these as the winner, either Hearts Iron 4 or Strategic Command, but I gave it to Hearts Iron 4 just because the fact that you can choose just about any place in the world to run your country from. Um, it's they're kind of similar, but very dissimilar, if that makes sense, in what they do and their focus is. Um, Strategic Command obviously is a lot more focused and on its battle system. Hearts of Iron 4, there's a lot more manipulation and interweaving of the different strategies. So they're not really kind of compatible, but I gave it to Hearts of Iron 4 just barely over Strategic Command World War II, just for the fact that you can play as any kind of country during the grand strategy game of World War II. All right, so that is our four main categories. Just to refresh and highlight, remember we had the board game design with Victory or Glory being the runner-up, Tigers on the Hunt is the winner. Non-World War II design, Sid Meier's Civilization 6 runner-up, Shingoku Jedi, Shadow of the Shogun is the winner. Best strategy game, World War II design, runner-up, Strategic Command, World War II, winner, Order of Battle, World War II, and the best strategy game, Grand Strategy, runner-up, Strategic Command, World War II, and Hearts of Iron 4 is the winner. Now, we have two very important categories left to go. We have the best strategy game DLC expansion of the year for 2016. Best strategy game DLC expansion of the year. The nominees are Heroes of Normandy, the 21st Panzer Division, Order of Battle, World War II Blitzkrieg, Hearts of Iron 4, Together for Victory, Gravitine Tactics minus Front, Dawn of Blau, Sengoku Jedi, Shadow of the Shogun, Mandate of Heaven, and Total War Warhammer Realm of the Wood Elves. So these are the best strategy game DLC expansion of the year. The runner-up is, send this to back, Sengoku Jedi, Shadow of the Shogun, Mandate of Heaven. This expansion is just so good. It's so good. It adds 5 new campaigns to the game. It adds 4 new factions. I mean, it's just the amount of stuff that added into the game is just incredible by this one expansion. Highly, highly recommend it. And, a lot of companies that put out expansions, they want to charge you, half the price of the full game for an expansion. This DLC is very reasonably priced for the amount of gameplay that you will get out of it. Again, 5 strategic campaigns and 4 brand new factions just in this one expansion pack alone. So what game did a better job than Sengoku Jedi in 2016? The winner for best DLC is Order of Battle Blitzkrieg. Actually, this expansion is going to be hard to do more than Sengoku Jedi, but Blitzkrieg, I believe, did with more than 200 new units that are added into the game system. I think there's like 10 or 12 new new scenarios. They added the new specialization system. They had added several new minor nations to the game and a whole bunch of specialized support units as well. So tons and tons of stuff, massive amount of scenarios, and new maps and new scenario, new units, just overwhelming amounts. So Order of Battle Blitzkrieg #1, best of the best expansion pack DLC of the year. Again, just like Shingoku Jidai Shadow of the Shogun Mandate of Heaven, Blitzkrieg is very reasonably priced for everything that you're going to get with it. It's just a ton of stuff that you're going to get. 200 more units to play with, a whole bunch of minor nations, and all these new missions and everything. You're going to be having hundreds and at least I would say probably a good 40 to 60 hours of extra gameplay at least just in this expansion alone. So well worth the price of admission. All right, so congratulations to them. And now we get on to the last and best of the best. This is the best strategy game of the year for strategy games. So we really narrowed down, of course, the top 6. If you notice, we actually have 6 in every category here. And what I would like to say is pretty much if you are a strategy game enthusiast, you like strategy games, any game that you see on this list is highly recommended for you to get. But let's find out which is the best of the best of the best. So the nominees are Hearts of Iron 4, Tigers on the Hunt, Order of Battle World War II, Sid Meier's Civilization 6, Total War Warhammer, and Shingoku Jidai Shadow of the Shogun. Well, let's see who the runner-up was first. The runner-up to Best Strategy Game, and again, if you were to spend your money on any one of these games, I feel you are getting your money's worth plus some. Um, Again, when I'm looking at the best of the best, I'm taking everything into consideration: price, how complete the game is, and um, how fun it is, how the interface works. I mean, just a whole bunch of things to take into category, and to really narrow down just 6 strategy games from all the good strategy games that were released in 2016 was pretty hard to do. I've actually taken off some people off the list and replaced them with others and back and forth. But after all is said and done, I have to finally decide. And so these are the top 6: Hearts of Iron 4, Tigers on the Hunt, Order of Battle World War II, Sid Meier's Civilization 6, Total War Warhammer, and Sengoku Jidai Shadow of the Shogun. Again, any one of these games could win it. Um, I can talk strongly and negatively about any one of these games, um, but let's find out which is the runner-up for strategy game of the year. Order Battle World War II. So I've talked about it a few times during this episode. So a lot of the reasons why it's won a couple of the other awards, pretty much guaranteed it was going to be pretty high on this list. The amount of expansions for it, the battle system, which is very familiar to some people, that's been expanded upon by Panzer Corps and some of the other systems similar to that, and the fact that they've added and expanded upon that and made it into a beautiful looking game. The sound, the graphics, the ability to be able to zoom in and out on it, um, the amount of scenarios you can play, the specializations system that allows you to replay different scenarios, the way you carry units over, your units from one scenario onto the next scenario, so they're skilled and battle hardened. Units go on to the next scenario, and losing these units is so painful, so very painful. Order of Battle World War II, probably probably one of the best strategy games that's been released in a long, long time, and I would highly, highly recommend it to anybody without a doubt. So, with all those fine things that I just said about Order of Battle, then there's got to be a pretty special game to beat it. And let's find out the winner for the 2016 Strategy Game of the Year. And it is Tigers on the Hunt. So I'll tell you what, a lot of the things that we talked about with a lot of the other games, I talk about when I talk about Tigers on the Hunt. And I really haven't talked about it much this episode, but I'll tell you one thing. The one thing that kind of separated Tigers on the Hunt from all of the others is the community that supports this game. There is a ton of mods out there that you can get for this game for free to change the graphics on it, to change the way the counters look, all of your support counters, just a ton of things. And not only that, but I believe there are well over 150 scenarios already that you can download for free. So the replayability on this game is through the roof. There's been several nice additions and updates by the developer this year that has expanded and added things to the games that people are looking for. And this is one of these games when we talk about like longevity. The developer is going to be working on this game for many years to come, adding things to it. Um, right now, there isn't a DLC, so you get a complete package. You don't have to worry about buying a bunch of DLC. Eventually, hopefully, we will get some more additional DLCs. But for the value, for the money that you can put into this, if you've been on my game channel or again on my Twitch streams, we spent probably the first 6 months of 2016 playing this game just about every night. And I think I only played one scenario that actually comes with the game. It comes with a full editor, an easy to use editor that allows you to create scenarios in a snap, that allows you to create any imaginable scenario that you're interested in doing. So the game, I think, will keep getting better and better for longevity. The price is uh, very reasonable for how much you're getting. And, well, it doesn't, earn 5 stars in every single category when we're talking about fun factor. It definitely does earn 5 stars. Um, and it just, I think, when we're talking about game designs that are new and interesting, obviously, we're looking at a game that has never been created before. So kudos to Silicon Soft Systems Incorporated for a well-designed, well-implemented game, and a big shout out and thanks to the um, community for Tigers on the Hunt for all their support on this game and how much they have done just to add new scenarios and new graphic effects and just tons and tons of stuff that you can download for free to this game. And so it kind of separates this game as opposed to a lot of the other ones. When, again, I could talk good and bad about every single one of these games. Some of them might have better interfaces or better graphics, but they don't score as high in categories of fun factor or um, money for your value. Um, you know, so when you put all the numbers together, it's hard to come up with the best of the best. But I think the thing that's really separated Tigers on the Hunt was just the fact that they have so much going for it. They have such a strong community. I would highly recommend that you go to the Matrix Games website, check out the forums. The developers usually posting and answering questions there a couple times a week. There's being scenarios released all the time. And it's just for me, it's a well put together package, and it's a well needed addition to any strategy game player out there. So there it is. Order of Battle World War II was the runner-up for Strategy Game 2016 Tigers in the Hunt Best Strategy Game of the Year 2016. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I would love to hear your guys' comments. Let me know below what you think of each of these different categories, and who would you put as your winner for these different categories, whether they're on my list or not, if you think of one that you would rather use on this list. So again, category number one is the board game design. Second category is the non-World War II design. Third category, of course, is World War II design. Fourth category was grand strategy game, DLC expansion of the year, and of course, game of the year. So let the debates begin, ladies and gentlemen, as we had a really good year of strategy games. A lot of quality titles. Again, anyone in any one of these categories, I could highly recommend to anyone out there, whether they came in first place or second place, or they didn't win their category. I would highly recommend them. Um, it's hard to really nail down what separates one game from another game, but in the end, you have to make a choice. And those, of course, are my choices. So let me hear what you would put down for your board game design, non-World War II, your World War II, your grand strategy, your DLC, and game of the year. And let the games begin. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next year. Hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And hopefully in 2017, we'll have even more and better strategy games to talk about. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.